All right, so we spent the last segment, eviscerating Naira and the people in charge with good reason. I do want to give a tip of the hat to them for renaming the sword dancer to honor the late, great Christophe Clement. They ran the sword dancer over the weekend on Saturday. Charlie Appleby, who was on a freaking milk carton for like the last 12 months, chipped in and won the race with El Cordobés. Really great ride by Flavien Prat, by the way. He won that race for that horse, when I don't say that often. But yes, so Christophe won the sword dancer many times, and this was his domain pretty much, was that marathon, mile and a half turf horse. This is where he made his bones in the industry. He obviously has won a bunch of other great races too, like the Belmont, but this is like where his bread was really buttered. And yeah, I just think it makes a lot of sense, and it's a great gesture to honor him and the Clement family. And yeah, I was wondering like when that was going to happen and what race. And that's perfect. That Saratoga is the centerpiece turf race for the entire meet, John. So yeah, I think that's a fitting tribute to Christophe.
It is, and again, tip of the cap to them for recognizing it and doing it so quickly. Where they must have had it in their plans soon after Christophe passed, because that was a major shift, and they wanted to make the announcement on Sword Dancer Day. So it definitely, it fit in appropriately. Of course, we were all rooting for Team Clement to win the race this year, but I think maybe if they have a chance to win it next year, when it's actually named, after the patriarch, then it's even more befitting of the honor that it is. But I thought that was great. I appreciate that they extended it, and again, it was no offense to the horse that the race was named after previously, but a lot of people don't remember his career and don't remember that. And this is a little bit more contemporary that Christophe is going to be recognized, and hopefully the race will go on for another, 40 or 50 years, in the future and honor his legacy.
Yeah, no, it's a great legacy, and Miguel's obviously upholding it, doing great work so far with the horses that he's put out there. Christophe won the sword dancer 5 times. His record fifth sword dancer victory was last year with Farbridge, who obviously ran on Saturday as well. So yeah, looking forward to the Christophe Clement Invitational next summer at Saratoga. Also looking forward to this Saturday because we have a deep connection with one of the contenders in the Alabama, another one of those great historic grade ones up at Saratoga. And it's a competitive race. There's no real standout in here. It's only drew 6 horses, which is surprising to me for a $600,000 legendary mile and a quarter grade 1 for the fillies. But to me, and this isn't just because I know John and love John, to me, the most interesting horse in the race is Nitrogen. Just because, she obviously has had immense success on turf. She did have that huge win in the Wonder again off the grass, but it was a 3-horse field, and, it was kind of like a public workout for her. She came back, just missed in the Belmont Oaks by a nose. This would have been worth it, like no matter who showed up. But considering the field, John, this is a really, really good chance to make her even immensely more valuable. You can win a grade 1 on dirt.
Well, I think the reason why you have 6 horses in here is because of the 10 furlongs. It's a distance that a lot of 3-year-old fillies have not competed at, and nor will they ever again, unless they go to the distaff. But that being said, there's 2 really solid, salty contenders in here, with Good Cheer, who won her first 7 races of her life before not handling the slop in the Acorn, and then the horse that beat her, Lucara, who now has, Joe, not 1 but 2 grade 1 wins under her belt, and looks to be the only real speed in the race. So I think the race is going to start and finish and go through Lucara, and it's just a question of whether or not she can go out there and if Dylan Davis, her usual rider, can slow the pace down, because if you can slow it down to 48, 49, and maybe 113 for 6 furlongs, then it's just a sprint at that point. It's just a 4-furlong sprint, and even though we own Nitrogen, my money would be on Lucara at that point. If she's 2 or 3 up in front, going into the turn at the top of the stretch, I think it's game over at that point. But Nitrogen, the reason why we're trying her, and Joe, this is the funny part about the industry. Okay. So Nitrogen, we're trying her on the dirt, and people are like, yes, that's great. we're all behind you. That's so super. You're given a chance to see if she can add a new dimension to her illustrious, resume and all those wonderful things. And we appreciate it. That's not why we're doing it, but we appreciate, the encouragement, everything like that. And then you go to Sandman and people are like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Now you're throwing him in the turf race. And, and it's like, it's basically the same premise. It's like, hey, we want to see if the horse can take the next step on a different distance and see what we can do. It's not exactly apples to apples, because obviously with nitrogen, it's a matter of, hey, we want to see if we can get, a grade 1, on the dirt, because that'll make her worth more from a breeding standpoint. And with Sandman,
she's in much better form than Sandman.
She does. But there aren't a lot of horses that have as good a form as a nitrogen, but I think a lot of people, I think when horses are turning 3, especially in the Marcassi barn, where they really get focused on one kind of racetrack or the other. Either it's Tapeta or it's turf or it's dirt. And, you kind of get in a rut in there when you succeed on that surface. But now we're trying it, with nitrogen. We'll see if she can get the grade 1. I think the 10 panels is not going to be a problem for her. I think that she can kind of sit off it. And hopefully, like I said, somebody else is going to go with Lucara. Although, Joe, I keep looking at the form, looking to see if anyone else can go 46.
As loose as can be in there, man. Unless you guys put pressure on her, which obviously is probably not going to happen with 2 Cassie horses. Right. Like, I don't know who's going to run with her. The only thing I'll say is that that was a very speed favoring track that she won on in the Acorn.
Yes.
Nobody really closed in there. So I thought, and I was against Good Cheer in the Oaks. I was against Good Cheer that day too. Finally, I stopped losing money betting against her after all these years. It feels like. But yeah, once Lucara got loose on that track, I thought she was going to be very tough to catch, and she was. Where's Scottish Lassie? I don't know. Maybe you heard something I didn't, because she came back and flattered Lucara in that huge blowout win in the CCA Oaks.
Right. I have not heard. To be honest with you, once a horse announces that they're not going to be in the race, I'm like, whew, because she's got some salty credentials also. But I'm sure we'll be seeing her again in the very near future.
Yeah, my guess is maybe they'll go to the Cotillion or something. But I was expecting after that huge win that she would be back in the Alabama.
Yeah, we'll be seeing her again in the entries, against us, hopefully in the very near future. But Joe, this is like a pivotal race for nitrogen, because if she does well, then it's like, okay, well, I guess we're on the path to the distaff. If she doesn't run the way that we want, then we're going to have to pivot and probably see if she can handle, some of the world's best turf horses. Believe it or not, and I know it's going to sound funny to say it, but I think that the dirt division is an easier division right now than the turf division. And that's before you get all these Euros coming over.
Yeah. Well, how about that we have a horse coming in from Sweden in this race?
I've never seen that before.
Like, how far and wide did they have to search to find this horse to run in here? Now, it is Team Valor. Barry Irwin likes to ship his horses all over the world and bring horses in from Europe. But I had never seen that before. This horse ran, I'm going to try this, John. This horse ran in the Jockey Kluben Svensk Derby last time against the boys.
Right.
And it says here in the form, it's a maiden race, but it was for 235,400 Swedish kroners. I don't know what the currency is.
But I don't know how it could have been a maiden race when
I don't know. It just says maiden. Races. So yeah, I don't know. It must mean something overseas. All of our European listeners are going to yell at me about my ignorance on Swedish racing, I'm sure. But yeah, that's that.
I just like hearing you say Jockey Kluben.
Jockey Kluben. Yeah, I like that.
Jockey Kluben Svensson Derby.
Mike Rapoli, once you're done yelling at the Jockey Club, call up the Jockey Kluben and see if they're doing their job.
You might be the commissioner of the Jockey Kluben.
Oh, John with his Swedish chef impression. We finally got back to it. I feel like we had this. You brought it up out of nowhere once upon a time, but here we are setting you up for your Swedish chef impression.
Out of the park. Out of the parky.